Imagine explaining money to a wolf. You hold up a small piece of paper and say, "This lets me eat." The wolf smells it. It smells like nothing. You draw a line in the dirt and say, "If I cross this, men with weapons will stop me." The wolf sees only soil and grass. You point to a clock and say, "When this number changes, my heart starts racing." The wolf sees light moving across the sky. That is all. The wolf understands trees, land, food, sunlight. You understand numbers, borders, deadlines. And here is the strange part, the wolf is reacting to things that are real in nature. You are reacting to ideas. So let me ask you something serious. What is the strangest thing humans accept as normal? It may not be death. It may not be a war. It may be this. We live inside systems we invented, and we treat them as if they are laws of the universe. Money, governments, schedules, corporations, social status. None of these grow from the ground. You cannot dig up a nation. You cannot hold an economy in your hands. You cannot point to a deadline in the forest. And yet these invisible systems decide who eats, who moves, who speaks, and sometimes who survives. We plan our lives around them. We fear them. We defend them. We treat them like mountains. But they are not mountains. They are agreements. That is not an opinion. It is a historical fact. These systems were built by human minds. They were shaped over time. They changed. Some even vanished. So here is the real mystery. How did agreements become reality? How did shared ideas become forces that control billions of people? To understand that, we have to go back to a time when none of this existed. For most of human history, there were no nations, no banks, no written laws, no clocks ticking on the wall. If you go back far enough, humans lived in small groups. Not cities. Not countries. Small bands, usually fewer than 150 people. Everyone knew everyone. There was no money. If you needed food, someone shared it. If you made tools, you traded them face to face. The exchange was personal. You helped today because someone helped you yesterday. Trust was built by memory, not numbers. Reputation mattered more than wealth. If you were known as selfish, people stopped helping you. If you were known as skilled or generous, people stayed close. Authority was simple and visible. If someone led the group, you saw them every day. You knew their strengths. You knew their flaws. Leadership was not printed on paper. It lived in real people. There were no borders drawn across land. No passports. No tax forms. No digital accounts tracking your value. Life was hard. But it was direct. The threats were clear. The food was real. The rules were spoken, not written in thick books. Most important, there were no abstract systems managing millions of strangers. No one could send orders across oceans. No one could move numbers that changed lives from far away. So something changed. At some point, humans moved from small tribes to vast systems that organize billions. From face-to-face trust to trust in symbols. From known leaders to invisible institutions. The question is not whether this shift happened. History proves it did. The real question is this. What allowed the human mind to build systems so large that they could control people who would never meet each other? The shift did not happen because humans became stronger. It happened because we learned to believe together. There is one ability that sets our species apart. We can build shared stories and treat them as real. Not just myths about heroes or spirits, but rules that guide millions of people at once. Some scholars call these imagined orders. That does not mean they are silly or useless. It means they exist because we agree they exist. Money has value because we agree it does. If tomorrow everyone stopped accepting it, it would become paper again. A nation exists because enough people believe it exists. The land is real. The borders are not. They live in maps and minds. A corporation can own property, sign contracts, and go to court as if it were a person. Not because it has a body, but because the legal system says it counts as one. Other animals work together. Bees build hives. Wolves hunt in packs. But they cooperate with members they can see and smell. Humans can cooperate with strangers across oceans. You can trust a pilot you have never met. You can buy food from a farmer you will never see. You can follow a law written by someone born decades before you. All because you believe in the same system. This shared belief allowed trade across continents. It allowed cities to grow. It allowed armies of millions and supply chains that move food, fuel, and medicine around the world. It built the modern world. But something strange happened along the way. The stories became so large, and so stable, that they stopped feeling like stories. They began to feel like nature. Money feels as real as rain. Borders feel as solid as mountains. Laws feel as fixed as gravity. And once a story feels like nature, most people stop asking who created it, or whether it could ever change. History gives us strong clues about how belief turns into structure. When ancient empires collapsed, their money lost value almost overnight. Coins that once controlled trade became simple pieces of metal. The power was never in the metal. It was in the shared trust. When governments fall, laws can vanish in a moment. A rule that shaped daily life can disappear because the system behind it is gone. In 1991, the Soviet Union dissolved. Around 280 million people woke up in new countries without moving an inch. Their homes did not move. Their streets did not change. The rivers, the trees, the sky all stayed the same. What changed was the belief system. New flags. New laws. New borders. This shows us something clear. These systems feel solid, but they rest on shared agreement. When agreement breaks, the structure breaks. Now here is where science adds another layer. Modern brain studies show that belonging to a group activates survival systems in the brain. When people feel accepted, the brain signals safety. When people feel rejected, the brain reacts in ways similar to physical pain. In simple terms, your brain treats social rejection like injury. That means breaking strong social rules can feel dangerous, even if no one touches you. Your heart may race. Your stomach may tighten. Stress rises. So we do not follow systems only because they make sense on paper. We follow them because our biology pushes us to stay inside the group. Belief becomes structured because millions of nervous systems protect it every day. And now we face the deeper question. If these systems depend on belief and reinforcement, are they fragile, ready to fall if trust fades? Or are they stronger than ever, because billions of minds are holding them up at the same time? Here is the twist. These systems are both imagined and unstoppable at the same time. If every person on Earth stopped believing in money tomorrow, it would lose its power. The numbers in banks would mean nothing. Paper bills would be paper again. In that sense, money depends on belief. But here is the problem. No single person can stop believing in it. You can say, I reject money. But you still need food. You still need shelter. And the people who provide those things still believe in the system. Your survival depends on their belief. This is the paradox. The system exists because we agree. But once it grows large enough, no one person can step outside of it. You cannot opt out of gravity. If you jump, you fall. And in today's world, you cannot easily opt out of global agreements. If you ignore laws, borders, or currency, the system does not disappear. It pushes back. We built the machine piece by piece. Rules. Banks. Laws. Markets. At first, they were tools. They helped us trade, protect, and organize. But over time, the tool grew larger than any one person. Now the machine sets the schedule. The machine defines value. The machine rewards and punishes. We created it to serve human needs. But when you look closely, a harder question appears. Did we build these systems to serve us? Or have we slowly begun to serve them? Not all systems look the same. Different civilizations built different imagined orders. Some believed kings were chosen by God. Their ruler was not just a leader, but a sacred figure. To question the king was to question heaven. Other societies built systems around voting. Power moved through ballots, not bloodlines. Some cultures created strict caste systems. Your role in life was set at birth. Your work, your status, even your marriage could be decided before you could speak. Others placed faith in open markets. Competition became the main force. Success was measured by growth and profit. The details change from place to place. Even today, systems work differently around the world. A border in Europe may feel open and flexible. A border in North Korea can feel absolute. In Sweden, many people rarely touch cash. Payments move through digital systems. In some rural areas of the world, people still trade goods directly, face to face. The systems change. The pattern does not. Every society builds invisible frameworks. Rules about power. Rules about value. Rules about who belongs and who decides. Then, over time, those rules stop feeling like choices. They begin to feel fixed. People grow up inside them. Children learn them before they question them. And soon, the system feels as natural as the weather. This is how imagined orders become stable. Not because they never change, but because each new generation treats them as normal. So the deeper question is not whether systems differ. It is this. How did these invisible frameworks become so dominant that most of us never think to step back and examine them at all? In the beginning, these systems were tools. Money made trade easier. Instead of carrying grain or cattle, you carried coins. Governments helped groups defend themselves. They organized soldiers and set clear rules. Schedules helped farmers plant and harvest at the right time. Shared calendars kept communities in sync. These tools solved real problems. But then human populations grew. Villages became cities. Cities became nations. Nations connected into a global network of billions. The tools had to grow as well. And when tools grow large enough, they stop feeling like tools. They become environments. You are not simply using the global economy the way you use a hammer. You are inside it, the way a fish is inside water. You do not occasionally interact with bureaucracy. You are born into it. Your birth is recorded. Your identity is numbered. Your work is tracked. Over centuries, these systems became layered and complex. Laws were written and rewritten. Rules were added to old rules. Paper became digital code. Now algorithms help decide your credit score. Markets move in milliseconds based on data no human can fully track. Policies made in one country can affect food and fuel prices across the world. The invention kept evolving. But human biology did not evolve at the same speed. Our brains are still built for small tribes. Yet we live inside systems that span the planet. In many ways, the invention evolved faster than the inventor. And that brings us to the present, where these invisible systems shape daily life more than ever before. Today, most stress in your life does not come from predators. There is no lion outside your door. No rival tribe at the edge of your village. Instead, the pressure comes from ideas. Deadlines. Debt. Performance scores. Reputation ratings. Legal risks. None of these can bite you. But your body reacts as if something is chasing you. Your heart speeds up before a meeting. Your stomach tightens over unpaid bills. Your sleep breaks over numbers on a screen. The threat is abstract. The stress is real. This is the invisible pressure of modern systems. We measure self-worth through productivity. If we are busy, we feel valuable. If we slow down, we feel guilty. We measure success through accumulation. More income. More status. More proof that we are winning. We measure time through optimization. How can we use it better? Faster? More efficiently? And because everyone around us plays the same game, it feels normal. When something is shared by millions, it feels natural. But natural does not always mean inevitable. It means normalized. There is a difference. Fire is natural. Gravity is natural. Aging is natural. But a 40-hour work week is not written in the stars. A credit score is not part of biology. We built these measures. So if we feel constant pressure from them, we must ask an honest question. What does it say about us that we accept abstract systems as the main source of meaning, stress, and identity in our lives? So here is the strangest part of this entire story. It is not that humans build complex systems. It is that we forget we built them. We defend borders we never drew ourselves. We stress over numbers that exist only because we agreed they matter. We follow structures older than our grandparents, without ever asking why they were designed that way in the first place. From the outside, looking in, humanity looks like a species living inside a giant maze. A maze we built with our own hands. One so large, so detailed, and so coordinated across billions of people that it starts to feel like a law of nature. It feels permanent. It feels fixed. It feels like physics. But it isn't physics. It's belief, repeated so many times, at such a massive scale, that it hardened into something that feels unquestionable. And maybe that is the real mystery here. Not why these systems exist. We already understand that part. We needed structure. We needed cooperation. We needed shared rules to survive together. The real mystery is this. Do we still control these systems? Or somewhere along the way, did the stories we created quietly become the ones writing the story of us? That is worth sitting with. Because the moment you see the maze for what it truly is, you start walking through it differently.